Hello everybody, Drew here, tip of the Mint Flips, where I'm a stay-at-home dad and a part-time eBay reseller. And every 100 subscribers is a giveaway. So if you're watching, make sure you subscribe so you have a chance to win. I've got 6 orders going out today, so less than the last sales day, but there is one really good one in there that makes it a pretty good day. And actually that's the first thing going out, so let's go ahead and pull it. B4 is a Canon EOS 60D, B1234, and this item right here, if you didn't watch the video the other day when I talked about putting it up for sale, that was my big hang up for not being able to do live streams, because that was the camera I was going to use, and it was just a process, and the lens I needed for it was going to be very expensive, and blah blah blah, on and on and on, excuse after excuse. I was like, I wonder how much this is even worth, and I looked it up and said, oh, I'll just sell this and buy a camera that's meant for streaming, that's much easier to use. I already have one picked out. I'm not forcing my hand, so I'm bidding on a couple auctions, try to save myself a couple dollars if I can. But for that, on sale, I listed it $189.99 plus ship, because I wanted to sell quickly. That was the cheapest one listed, I think, or really close to it. And then on sale, it sold $163.39 plus shipping. That's been sitting around for probably a couple years at this point. Also, I paid $0 from that. My friend Frank gave that to me with a bunch of other stuff. He was clearing out his house, and he's the type where when it's time for something to go, it's time for it to go. And he said, I'd rather you make a couple bucks than me just donate it somewhere. That was very nice of him and great for me. And actually, that ties right into tip of the day. And the tip of the day is, don't be afraid to let people know you're a reseller. I know a lot of people avoid it because there are people that see it as like a scammy, stealing from the poor, silliness, whatever. I don't know. Those people, everyone's allowed to have their own opinions, but most of them are trash. So don't worry about that. There are times where, say you're at a garage sale and you're in a negotiation process, sometimes it is best to avoid it in that scenario, but that's very specific. Outside of that, it's been extremely beneficial to me to be very public about the fact that I resell, about the fact that I take your junk and I turn it into dollars in my pocket, because you'll have friends, family, strangers reach out to you and say, hey, I've got this thing, I would like to get rid of it. The jewel pops. The reason I sold these is because I was at a friend of mine's garage sale and her sister-in-law was sitting there with her. Sister-in-law? I think so. Yeah, sister-in-law was sitting there with her, and we're just jibber-jabbing, and I say, yeah, I'm a reseller. I do this, this, this. I said, I like to sell small things. She's like, I will be right back. She came back with those jewel pops. We made a deal. It's very beneficial. The times where it works for you will be much greater than the times it doesn't work for you, which I can't think of a single time it hasn't worked out in my favor. Maybe a side eye every now and then, but I don't care about side eyes. Sticks and stones, sticks and stones. So things like that. And then besides that, I don't know if he still watches, but my friend Nigel, or if he ever watched, he might just know that I resell. Back when I very first started, actually one of my most watched videos from back in the day, I got a set of pots and pans off of them. They were, I don't remember what kind. I don't do pots and pans anymore, so it doesn't really matter to me. It was only a couple of videos in. He said, hey, I got some stuff I'm looking to get rid of. We made a deal, and then I sold that. And then recently, he reached out to me, and he said, hey, I got some boxes. Are you interested? And whenever people say, yeah, I got some boxes for you, I'm always thinking, oh, Amazon, you know, like some shipping boxes with the old tape and your labels on them, which is fine. When you are first starting, 100% source your boxes and packing material from friends and family, especially around the holidays. That's a great time because you'll get boxes in all kinds of shapes and sizes. Eventually it becomes more work than it's worth because you have to store all these things, and to sort through all of them to find the specific box you need is a big pain and takes a long time. So eventually you just get to a point where you don't want those anymore and you just buy the boxes you need, because then they are very modular and they fit into the places that you have for them, and you know exactly what size is, and when you go to ship you already know what box it's going to go into, all those kind of things. But when you're starting, source them, go to a local store. Especially say you sell like sporting goods, like golf clubs, go to your local sporting goods store. Say, hey, when your golf clubs come in this season, can I have your boxes? They will gladly give them to you instead of having to put them in their trash can. But back to the other part of it, it was not Amazon boxes. It was 211 and a quarter, 8 3/4 by 6 Uline boxes. Yes. And for the cost of $0. Yes, yes, yes. If you are watching, I don't think you do, but if you are, thank you so much. And these ones are so cool because, I don't know if it picks up on camera, because, come on, they have, let's see if I can get a good angle on it. There we go. You can see it right there. See those perforations? So I don't even have to use my handy dandy resizing tool to resize these. I just, if I need it to be this bottom thickness, I cut up the side from there. The middle one, I cut from there. The top one is the top one. And then it just folds in instead of having to use this thing, a box resizer, which if you do need to resize a box and you need a box resizer, check the link in my description. It's actually super handy. I've used it twice today before I turned the camera on. So don't be afraid to let people know. Put it out there. Packing material. There's a local shipping store in town where I take my FedEx and UPS packages to. And almost every time I go in there, I get things like packing peanuts, bubble bags, because for the same reason, people drop their stuff off to her instead of having to dispose of it or recycle it or whatever. And then she gets inundated with too much, and then I get the residuals from that. So I don't even have to source it anymore. I can just go there and say, hey, you got some spare bubble bags? Boom. It's awesome. So don't be scared of it. Don't shy away from it. It will work out for you. Next up is a pattern. It is Pat 13. And this is, I think, the best one I've found so far. Let's take a guess here. 16, 14. There we go. Pat 13. And it is a Vogue Craft Barbie pattern 690, and you can see by the Barbies that it's very, very vintage. The bob cut Barbies, that's like one of the first or second ones ever made. And actually original price $12.95. That's very expensive for a pattern, especially from whenever that came out. Vogue Craft 690 on sale $25.79 free shipping. I think I listed it $29.99. Next up, it's a book. It's the book, the HCSB Nurse's Bible. Right here in blue with the silver, is it gilding? Is that what it's called when they put this on the outside? Now it's just for decoration, but when I was listing a whole library worth of books, I found out the original reason they did that wasn't to make it pretty. It was to keep bugs off them. So that's a fun fact, or at least it's a fact. For that, accepted a very weird offer. $10.96 free shipping. I think after tax it probably came out to a round number, but I have no idea. Next up, B4 is a Airlight lawn chair, B1234 webbing replacement. And I thought it was yellow, but maybe just the outside of the package was yellow. Let me check, because this is the right brand. Yes, it's this one, green one right here. And these are, of course, the webbing replacements for a webbed lawn chair. I find these at least once a summer. They're not a ton of money. If they're new in package, it's okay. They're not great. You're not breaking the bank, but they're okay. Like for that one, $11 free shipping. I did accept an offer, probably listed around $14.99 for free shipping. And speaking of that, my father actually just dropped off a bag of them the other day. So I'll get these listed soon. The nicer the color, by nicer I mean the cooler. Like if you look at this, you're like, oh wow, that's a cool color. The more they're worth. It's pretty easy. You know, your browns, they're not as good, not as desirable. The white, probably not as desirable. The flashy, the color, the pink ones, that's a high premium. But these are a thing that does sell because the chairs themselves do sell, and those sell for a ton of money. So there are people that repair them to flip them. I actually have quite a few of those chairs just sitting around. I'm just not willing to ship them. I just don't. I buy them when they're really cheap. I put them in my storage unit because I'm like, why not? $1 or $2 if I get them cheap enough, because I can't pass on it because it's worth $50. But I'm like, man, I really don't want to do that. So my plan is once I have 10 of them, 5 to 10 of them, which I'm probably getting close to that 5. I probably have 4 of them right now. I'll buy boxes specific for them. You know, buy 10 boxes specific for that shape, that size, so I don't have to resize a box and then I'll list them all. Next up, only listed a couple days. It is the Harley Davidson seat I listed the other day that I was hoping was worth a bunch of money, but wasn't. And it's not in the best condition, so I took the first offer that came in, which I listed it $23.99. That's a total guess, but they sent me an offer of $19 plus shipping. I will take that and move along with it. It's taking up too much space for how little money it's worth. And then the last thing going out, it's a book. It's a Jeep book right here. This Chilton Jeep manual in horrendous condition. Water damage, beat up, just terrible, terrible condition. I paid $2 for it, maybe $1, but I think it was actually $2. And I was getting lowball offers on that almost daily. $5, $10. On some of them, yes, those are actually the prices they go for, but the Jeep ones, no, thank you. I just listed mine as the cheapest. It's in terrible condition, so I just made it the cheapest one, and the cheapest one was still listed $24.99 free shipping, and on sale, somebody paid $22.49 free shipping. This will go media mail. So that's a great flip. I bought it this summer. Yeah, this summer? Yeah, at the big community sale that's about a town away from me. I also, this is a sidebar, you know how I thought school started last week? It also doesn't start on Monday because Monday's a holiday. So it's still, I again thought Monday was gonna be my get back to it day, but no, another day. It won't be till Tuesday where I can really hammer down on listings and get things going for fourth quarter and hopefully really start churning out some sales. I got a great, if I showed my sales graph in my eBay seller hub, it's a flat line across. It is steady eddy across with a couple little blips up and down in there a few times. So it's a comfortable range, but I would really like some spikes in there, some big old spikes. And the only way to do that is to list a lot more things or list some high dollar things that sell every once in a while, but I don't have that many high dollar things laying around to list. That's a challenge. When my ability to source is very limited, my time to source limited, my area to source in limited, the value of the things in the area I source in are very low value because I live in a poor community. You know, you got to have rich people to pay for rich people things that I get at a discount that I therefore can sell to make high dollars. Beyond that, you just got to get super lucky, like come across vintage Pyrex is worth a bunch of money. So it's a short one, but that's gonna be all for this one. I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, give it a thumbs up. If you didn't, go ahead and give it a thumbs down. Subscribe, share, and be good to each other. Just really neat. Hey, Pete. Do they ever really fix things? I have no idea what this is. What do I care? Let go. I'm good at this.